Little girls woke up, especially little black and brown girls, who so often feel overlooked and undervalued in their communities. But today, just maybe, they're seeing themselves for the first time in a new way as the stuff of president and vice presidents.
Today, trying to show they are a team with similar values and shared goals.
And we're experiencing a moral reckoning with racism and systemic injustice that has brought a new coalition of conscience to the streets of our country, demanding change.
After releasing a video profiling Kamala Harris, opening with that moment when Joe Biden asked her to be on the ticket.
Hi, sorry to keep you.
That's all right. You ready to go to work?
Oh my God, I'm so ready to go to work.
Why Harris? First, energy, excitement, a strong campaigner, even virtually during the pandemic. Second, her ability to rally black voters, key to any Democratic victory, especially in those battleground states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, who did not turn out in large enough numbers for Hillary Clinton. Third, the prosecutor, Harris using her skills to go after Trump and his men.
Has the president or anyone at the White House ever asked or suggested that you open an investigation of anyone? Yes or no, please, sir?
The president or anybody else.
Seems you would remember something like that and be able to tell us.
Skills honed from her years as California's Attorney General when she forged a friendship with Joe Biden's son, Beau, who had the same job in Delaware.
I know how much Beau respected Kamala and her work, and that mattered a lot to me, to be honest with you, as I made this decision.
Beau was the kind of guy who inspired people to be a better version of themselves. He really was the best of us. And when I would ask him, where'd you get that? Where did this come from? He'd always talk about his dad.
And Biden says they're prepared for attacks from President Trump.
She's going to stand with me in this campaign, and all of us are going to stand up for her.
Well, I'm a legend in the making, yeah. I know just what I'm made of, yeah. Oh. They say life is what you make it. Well, I'm a legend in the making. I know just what I'm made of. Oh. They say life is what you make it, yeah. Well, I'm a legend in the making, yeah. I know just what I'm made of, yeah. Oh. They say life is what you make it. Well, I'm a legend in the making. I know just what I'm made of. Oh. They say life is what you make it, yeah. Well, I'm a legend in the making, yeah.
Okay, I want to thank everybody for joining me today. It is a beautiful day, and I want to say it's evening now, but I want to say I'm just saying, oh my God, I am so excited. You guys have no idea I don't think I've been this excited since, man, I don't know. But this is a way to break a depression. You know what I mean? This is really the way, guys. Let me just say it. I just got to say that the depression was here. And the announcement was made, the depression went here. Because this is where hope fits in the middle. And I just started bursting and I was too shocked to cry. I can't lie. I was too shocked. I was frozen. All I could do was scream. My wife thought something had happened to me. She was outside as I was in the house in the center of the floor, screaming, just screaming. And if you want to know why I'm screaming, first of all, I want to welcome you to I'm Just Saying. You see how excited I am about this information. It's not even about me or the show. I forgot to tell you that, hey, I'm Just Saying is in the building. As always, today we bring in something more than gloom and doom. We are bringing, as Obama would say, the audacity of hope. And that it's alive. And I'm looking at my guests. I got Guys, it's been a while since I had this wonderful, beautiful human being in the really in the building. She's in the Zoom. You know, and when I started, she started with me. As I said, my right hand, my left hand, my ear, my confidant. The reason that I'm doing this show and have the courage to do it, and it is no lie, because so many times she didn't know what kind of confidence she instilled in me that I could do even better than what I was doing. And again, when you hear her talk, you'll understand why. I'm glad she wasn't there when Jesus was on the cross, because she would have talked him down. Denise Mins Harris is in the building. What's going on, beautiful lady? She's a new grandmother, everybody. Give her a round of applause.
She's gorgeous.
So honored to, look at her. Look at her. We are so honored to have you in this whole discussion. Quan, always big homie Quan, he tells it like it is from the wood. I don't want to talk about Kanye West. I just can't do it no more. I'm respectfully gonna leave all that to Quan, but if I feel like he forgot something, I may throw a word in every now and then. But I really want to think Denise is ready to teach us about non-factors. Y'all know I always have my girl. I said I don't care what side of corner, what it doesn't matter if anybody I want to be on that side with me running, it's gonna be my other co-host, Anna Cavalli Cole.
I'm in here to celebrate. Let me get my rag to wipe my tears.
Guys,
So
you guys know
excited.
how this show is. We got to get started. You don't even know how important this is. I got my girl, Miss Harris. I got to tell this one little story. I'm on Facebook. If you guys know my girl is about something. Fearless. So she's out protesting, doing what I don't care, rain, sleet, snow, pandemic. And God has her because she has the people, because she has issues herself, and she will still go out. And the point is, she getting heckled. We don't know what's going to go down. I'm looking at this. I'm nervous. I'm on the phone saying, please, I don't want to see this. And her son is there, thank God. But the point was, she didn't flinch. She didn't move. So when I say strength and courage and will speak her mind, no matter who you are, what size you are, what you are we going to hear it today. So I'm just letting you know. And I got Annika, who's been a prosecuting attorney for over 16 years. So she already know how people can think and treat you and what they think about you, because they don't realize what the word crime really means. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Because every time I hear the three strike law, I'm thinking, well, how did Johnny get 3 strikes? Where the hell were you when he got 1 and 2?
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying the law shouldn't have been created, but how he get 3 strikes? You know, well, what happened? How you get 3 strikes? That's my joke for today, because I hear that. That's my thought. Is if Biden was part of that 3-strike bill, him and Clinton them wrote that bill, but y'all keep forgetting the fact that Gore was supposed to be in office. We had an issue then in Florida where the election was stolen. And the point is, it was supposed to be just like Obamacare amended. Republicans saw this bill and said, oh, we can do what we want with this damn bill, and they're going to blame the Democrats forever. But most importantly, 3 strikes. 3. How you get 1 and 2? That's my thing. You got to answer for me, my black people, my people. Because when I hear this, I'm thinking, you know, 1, okay, I could understand your anger if they were to run strike bill. But we talking about 3. And some of the young kids are 15 to 18. Where were you, mom and dad or whoever, would before, you know, and you're raising hell now because he in for 3. Where were you with 1 and 2? So let's get started. Some great things are going on. Denise.
Yes, ma'am.
Kamala Harris is our candidate for vice president. We spoke in December. Tell the people. Remember Christmas party on the show, Denise? Tell the people what you thought about Kamala and what you said your husband thought.
We were talking about, are you talking about when we said, why was she pulled off so early?
Yes.
Why did she start? We believe that she got sat down and talked to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Come on out before too much confusion circles around you. We got a place for you. No guarantees, but we got a place for you. Just trust us on this. Come on out. And now I understand, because of her relationship with the Biden family, she trusted the message. And I believe that's why she came out, because it was a done deal. And it's so interesting to me because even before Joe Biden started running, social media had pictures of Biden. They were saying Biden-Harris ticket. It was something of the energy of the nation, of progressive people who want to see a continuation of the evolutionary track we were on. You know, that it was just natural evolution, and that is. But
also, Denise, it was in my opinion, and other people's opinions as well. It was almost as if Kamala Harris was a part of the wish list that everyone had. I think everyone had a certain wish list of minority women or women of melanin to be a part with Biden. You know, you had Karen Bass on that list. Kamala was on that list.
I have to tell you, it wasn't on my wish list. It was on my demand list.
That's right.
It was done. It wasn't no damn wish. Every time I look at social media and they'd be like, "Oh, I don't care if he picks my dog or my turtle," and I would say, "I demand he picks a black woman. I'm done. I'm done." I wasn't wishing. My goal was that it had to be a black woman, because every one of them who was being considered, you could justify see them in that appointment, in that nomination. But I have to admit that in terms of who's ready from day one, you know, given her pedigree, he made the right choice. But please understand, for this black woman who been marching and out there for 50 years, no, it wasn't a wish, it was a demand. When I'm managing a portion of the Biden Victory Fund campaign.
Rub it in.
And I was we were in a briefing with the Biden campaign right before it got announced. They wouldn't tell us anything, of course, which is to their credit. But the person debriefing us was so scattered and excited, and she's like, just make sure you're all available to see the live stream. So we had about a 20-minute talk with her. It was scattered, and I'm sitting in front of my computer working up the notes, and then the TV is on, and they announced Kamala, and I yelled. Yelled. My husband came running down the stairs. He's like, what? I said, it's Kamala. My colleague named Caroline, I texted her. He nominated Kamala, and then my tears started to flow. And not like heaving sobs, but just tears. And my tears were flowing because I'd been holding on for weeks, that I would not be asked one more time to support an all-white team, because the idea of retaining who's currently in that office was too unbearable to imagine. So I was relieved. My tears were tears of relief, because I realized how much I've been holding on to of what it would mean to me if he had not picked a black woman. And there's not a one of them that I wouldn't stand behind and support. But I want to give him his props, because he picked the best of the crop for what we have to do, because she will prosecute the case, and I like it.
Well, let me ask this as well, and this is to everyone, you know, that's here. Even if he didn't pick a black woman as the VP, knowing that he has been on record of saying that this will be the most diverse cabinet that will ever be in American, history, would you have still felt the same way you feel now?
No.
If it wasn't a black woman?
No, I would not have. I would have been in pain. My pain would have continued.
And I can attest for because he spoke that each show with me. When Kamala left, you know what I mean? And everything. And then Corey left. And when different things started to happen, remember Denise, you were saying. And then also you wanted a woman.
That's
but
right.
It was still the understanding of that. And Denise and I, and that's what makes me, that's the homesickness I feel, Denise, about the what we did, what you still do and what I used to do. Because you and I would have been right here tight doing it together as we did with DNC, and we did it with Hillary, and all of this. But the thing about it, she has that pleasure to continue to carry that torch. And I envy that in a good way, because I know the right I know how she fights. But so Kamala and them better look out, because they got some extra wind behind them wings. But yeah, because Denise, she said, 50 years, you could talk it, but she walk it. She walk it for real. She'll carry it.
My fight is not intellectual, it's action. Because talk with no action doesn't bear any fruit. You need to have a dialogue so that we're on the same it has concerned me. It has concerned me that on social media, when Trump started the birther movement behind Obama, Black people lined up behind Obama and said, get that foolishness out of here. No one questioned his right to run for president as a Black man, even though his mother was white. No one questioned that. But they're questioning her right because her mother is Indian. Are you kidding me? And this is coming from Black people. I'm sorry to say, the only people I've seen making those comments are Black men. I haven't seen any by Black women yet. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I reacted to on my social media by blocking them. And then I realized, Denise, don't block them, engage them. But I was so appalled because they didn't treat Obama that way. Obama grew up in other countries. She grew up in East Oakland. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
That's South Central. She's a Black sorority, AKA. Come on.
Where did she graduate from?
Howard University. But it's such a throwback to our slave mentality that, you don't want to see us women go but so far. And I think there's some stuff going on out there because her husband's white.
Oh, yeah, it is. But why? Look, the Black brother that she somewhat dated, and he was separated at the time, without a doubt. Look what he did to her.
Let me tell you what she has a right to do. She has a right to love whoever the hell she wants. This is America. Period.
But now, why the Black brother don't say nothing when the basketball players and everybody go grab them a white woman or a Latino woman? And I don't mean no harm. I'm saying anything but a Black sister, and then degrade us and say that we're too hard to handle it. It's too much.
Well, I have landed on those comments. My response is, then don't vote for her. I'm not going to get pulled in to that kind of. Obama used to call it, he used to say, okay, it's the silly season. And he wouldn't even address silly stuff. And for us to start emoting about this silliness, we need to treat it for what it is. When I've got a couple of people on that I know that are, hydrochloroquine people and don't let them put a gun to your head to take a temperature. You get bread. And I'm not arguing with them. You know what I do? I make one little comment and then I do laughing emojis. Like, this shit is amusing. It's amusing. I've decided to be amused and fascinated by people who think so small and petty. And I'm going to treat them like people who think small and petty. So I want to tell your listening audience, do not spend your emotional energy on silliness.
Oh, you saved me. Girl, my hands are so sore from texting for the past 2 days, and I wanted to block. Yeah, I wanted to block, and I thought I needed to be the one to correct it. But you know what? You're right. Another thing I want to do real quick, one thing I also want to do very quick, when I said when they marry, Caucasian women and Latino women, nothing against it. I see all of us as sisters. And it's no line. I've always said that. We're talking about how men are not. That's why, think about when Biden first got ready to introduce her. If you notice, when he introduced her, he said, protect her, be there for her. Because he already knew what she was in store for. But for my brothers, my black men, why are you doing this? Because I haven't seen one, the whites just stay real. I'm being real with you. The Caucasians just stay about all of us. They just talk about all of us. And I'm a Trump supporter. They're not, it's everybody. They just me, you, her, everybody. But everybody that I've been defending about this decision or about her and the 3 strike, we're going to come to you, Annika, about the 3 strike, about this situation, has been my people, my brothers. And you're still my family, and I still love you. Because even in the foolishness, I love you. But I don't understand, you don't have anything to say about Trump. Every 80 seconds, someone we're losing someone. He comes on and talks crazy, and he still has no plan. It's a non-factor.
And I've also decided that because the people who are making these comments, I don't know them. I don't know where the hell they came from. And they could just as easily be Russian bots. They just put that Facebook removed 300 Facebook pages that were fronting as Black people who support Trump. Wow. So I'm not even going. That's what I'm saying. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it. I got 3 Black sons and a Black grandson. Okay, none of them have an issue with this. If anything, they're excited about Kamala. So, and they're my gauge, because they ain't no punk. Because one of them likes to say, "Mom, I'm deep in the street," and that's the one with the doctorate from Howard University. But this is where he grew up. These are the people he grew up with, and a lot of he's got a couple of different circles, and one of his circles is the brothers who are still deep in the street, and everybody's cool with it. So I've decided it's the silly season. If I see someone attacking her, I'm gonna give them ha-ha emojis. Like, this must be a joke. You can't be serious. I'm going to laugh. And I recommend that that's where we put our energy. Do not get sucked in. There was an article in the August 10th issue of USA Today. The woman's name is Nikki Solis. She's a San Francisco public defender. And she said she struggled about whether she should write this op-ed about what it was like when Kamala was the DA in San Francisco. And her conclusion was that she was being so misrepresented by the opposition that she wanted to point out how Kamala Harris was the most progressive DA that she'd ever worked with. How she took young people with felonies and created, it was called, hold on, I wrote it down. She created a program called Back on Track for nonviolent felony charges. And she put them through this program where they got job training, rehab, and placed in jobs. And that program was duplicated all across the country. And I'm gonna say one word on 3 strikes because I know that's not my expertise. But I do know this. I do know that the Black ministers were begging or something, some action. I, at the time, was living in Venice. There were 6 crack houses on my block. I would park my car, and my children were little, and I would grab them to me, and I taught them to run because they would come at me like roaches at night. You want this one? And in the morning, those crack vials would be all in my front yard. So we can sit up here and talk about it, but I was living in Ghost Town in Venice. I saw crack. It wasn't no intellectual thing for me. I have friends who I helped come off that stuff who would cry to me and say, I can smell it, Denise. I just need it right now. And I would tell her, you have to pray right now. It was deep. But people were begging to get this out of my community, and they did something drastic. But even the need for that, you can trace back to systemic racism. People are self-medicating because they have no hope. So as we begin to attack the flaws in our society, then we will automatically begin to see this kind of evil stuff eliminated from our communities. Kamala refused to institute the death penalty, even when it was unpopular. There was a cop who got killed. The Republicans.
That's right.
The Republicans are running an ad. The Republicans are running an ad right now because this cop got killed. They caught the guy, found him guilty. She refused the death penalty, and I said, right on. So watch out.
And those cops were furious. She was in some sort of meeting, I want to say a funeral, a memorial, and they demanded that she agreed to request the death penalty, and she stood strong then. So she is authentic. She is authentic. And there were a lot of great candidates. I'm a big fan of Karen Bass. She's endorsed me for judge in the past. That's part of my love for her, but I had access to her. But like every Black woman who walks this earth, and ladies, I know you're gonna nod with me on this, there's more than a double standard. There's a triple standard for us, okay? You know, and so I think Kamala has succeeded fighting and warring against these triple standards like Obama. And that's why I do believe that she's going to be extraordinarily successful and strong for the Democratic ticket. The prosecutor side is actually a very valuable edge when you think about some of these battleground states that we're going into. You know, when you think about people who have been taught politically to embrace law and order, there is nobody with a stronger law and order image. And just like Ms. Harris was illustrating, that law and order image, I believe, is more balanced with the reality of growing up and seeing good people put through a system that does not distinguish those who are really dangerous to our community from those who live near those, went to school with those, might be friends with those, may have to work with those who are dangerous to our community. And to distinguish and to protect and serve. 2 words, very important, each equally important. I mean, it was a brilliant pick. And for me, I was screaming so loud, and my daughter started screaming, a little beautiful Black girl, and she didn't know what she was screaming about. She said, Mom, you mean a Black woman could be a president of the United States? And I said, yes, baby. Not only can a Black woman be president of the United States, that Black woman can be you. And that was what I think, Ms. Harris, you've been fighting for, what we're all fighting for, is hope. The audacity of hope, the reality of hope. There's change afoot here in our community that I haven't even thought to dream about. In LA, from the top of the freeways, you see Black Lives Matter. You see that. I rode with my father down the street. He survived 3 different rounds of rebellions here in LA, and we couldn't believe what we were seeing. So there's hope. There's going to be, with hope, a lot of challenge. The negativity, and I want to raise this because I want us to talk the point out, because there's a lot of women like me who are like, should we be promoting a woman who slept with a married man? You know, and some of the negative or silliness. But when I think about it, should we promote a woman who slept with a married man, of which I have no evidence thereof? Or should I embrace Vice President Pence, who went to how many medical facilities without a mask in a wake of one of the worst pandemics any of us have ever encountered? Those are the real weighty questions that we have to deal with here.
You know, and my response to that is, who among us would survive the microscope? Who ain't got some stuff?
Basically, she's saying, who among us that is without sin, would you cast the first stone?
That's right. I mean, like, can we all calm down about people's private business? We got a damn pedophile sitting in the West Wing. A rapist, a pedophile, a sexual assaulter. Come on. And the other thing is,
I don't even know why we even
discuss it.
Once again, silly season. Hashtag silly season. We need to adopt that to the. Adopt that to the. I'm just saying nation. Hashtag silly season.
Hashtag silly season. It's the silly season. And the other thing,
the silly.
It's none of my business. That stuff is none of my business.
Silly is none of our business.
Right. Whatever happened between two consenting adults is none of my business. That's not my business. You know, I mean, like, it's a throwback. And what they're doing is they're going into the old Karl Rove playbook. You know, so they're talking about birtherism, they're talking about infidelity, they're talking about, you know, all kinds
soft on crime, hard on crime. How can you be both soft and hard on crime at the same time? I'm a little confused about that, but go ahead.
Well, they're trying to find what will stick. And you know, and I have to tell you that
I think they don't have anything, Denise. I think that Trump and them, this is the one time they were unprepared. They would have rather he picked Rice because they could go back to Benghazi.
He wanted, well, actually, he was hoping Elizabeth Warren, because then he could safely play the Pocahontas race card. That's why he's calling her the angry woman, the nasty woman. He's playing on all the buzz negative words that they use to describe Black women. And that's okay. And that's okay. Because you know what? You have a right to be angry. There's nothing to apologize about. But because she's passionate and forceful and clear, that don't make her angry. You know, and if that scares him and makes his little shit shrink up, so be it.
Come on. And I hope that if she nasty enough to put him in one of the nastiest jails she can find when she prosecutes that ass.
You know, and I know, as you know, I'm very involved still in the dance community, and there's a lot of brothers who were responding to my post, just saying they're concerned and they're conflicted. And I told them, go read her webpage, because you're all going on rumors. You haven't done your homework. You haven't done your homework. Stop just listening to the little buzzes that come on TV. Go take the time to do your homework. It's okay. You know, and 3 of them came back and thanked me, like, oh my God. I said, go to her webpage, whatever she's about, whoever she is. And as far as being biracial, I don't know who's Black and pure.
Oh no, Annika, tell me what you are.
Calm down.
I'm telling you right now that while that may be seen as a criticism for some, it may be seen as a strength for others. I'm a biracial, half Mexican, half Black, speak English as my second language, got beautiful brown children, okay? Proud of my Black skin and proud of my brown skin. And we talk also about her as an immigrant. I'm a first generation Mexican American on my mom's side, and that's an experience in and of itself. So I am excited that we've got someone who can reach so many different communities, and that's okay, Trump. We you know, it's okay that we can talk to more than just our own. Our own includes everybody else but you. You know what I'm saying? So it's important, I think, that in historic, and for me, it's just gave me hope. It has given me hope in a time that we have a lot of negative gloom and doom, and a time when we're having reckoning and conversations about race. And I would like someone like her sitting at the table, directing the resources, the direction, of about the, we've here in California, we're going to let 17,000 people out of state prison because we're afraid of the liability for COVID-19. Guess what? There's still a pandemic going on. We've got Trump so afraid of the democratic process. Now he's obstructing the mail now. And we may have to show up and vote, but that's not we have come too far.
To turn back now.
Sacrificed too much. We have hurt and died and bled for this opportunity. So a long line on vote day is not going to stop us.
It ain't going to be nothing but a party. I voted in the primaries. We were online. We were 6 feet apart. I was a little freaked out because instead of having a machine that I make the dots, now it's a computer.
Right.
They sanitized the screen before I got there. I had gloves and a scarf on. I mean, you do what you got to do.
You wore your protective gear.
If I can stand online and get inside Target, get inside a Costco, bring your chair and sit your ass down and wait your turn. It's gonna be okay.
Buy you one of them glass shield things and your mask, and have your phone, a book.
I've been thinking about, y'all ain't never had none, but I'm famous for my sweet potato pie. I was thinking about baking a few. And really making it a community thing instead of a hardship. And I'll tell you something. I like that
idea.
My son, he had done a Broadway show this year, my youngest, but he never filed for unemployment. And so I was on him like, you complained about all the taxes, get your money back with some unemployment. So he finally filed recently, and then he got a response back from the unemployment office on August 5th that said his form had to be returned by August 2nd. It was 3 weeks late arriving. The mail sabotage has already begun.
Yes.
My little goddaughter thought it would be cute. She lives with her parents. She thought it'd be cute to write her daddy a letter. She wrote her daddy a letter. Her and her mom went to the mailbox on the corner, dropped the mail in the box 3 weeks ago. It ain't come to their house yet.
It's been happening for months now.
It's happening. It's in. The game is.
But is there something we can do? Because here's my thing, guys. I'm sorry. We have some of the smartest minds. We really do. I'm talking about just as a country.
Well, the thing is,
one man can plan something that we can't outthink.
No. You've got more than 30 Republican governors. And for instance, I can't call the state right now, but one of those southern states, because they were going to put drop boxes at the locations. And what happens is when the drop box gets full, you just take the drop box to the county registrar's office, which they open and begin tallying on the spot. What he said was, you can't do it. We're not allowing the drop boxes. And I really believe on a level, okay, it's a little far out, but on a level, if you remember, in the beginning, Trump was doing a talk every single day about COVID. Then the statistics came out that it's primarily killing Black and brown people. Then it stopped. Everything stopped. It was like, let them die.
No, he admitted it.
I think low key, they're using this as a form of genocide. The more of us that can get, look, we have the highest obesity issues. We have the diabetes. We have
heart disease.
Heart disease. So we're the most prone to the illness. And it's because of poor health care in our communities. So I'm not unconvinced that Trump, son, of a leader in the KKK is not invested in seeing as many of us die as possible and getting his governors to equally share that investment, because we are becoming an unstoppable force in this country. An unstoppable force. And the only way to stop the force, just like he said he's going to build the wall to keep the brown people out, is to eliminate us. And COVID gives him that opportunity. And I don't have to prove it. Actions speak louder than words.
It's a point. It's done. I said it. I think he believes he killed enough black people. But see, the funny thing about this is that the universe, I believe in God. For those that don't, I believe your karma, whatever you put out there, is going to come back. See, the funny thing is that middle-class white women, middle class, and when I say that, because he's still talking male chauvinist. They see deeper. See, Obama, weren't the only ones that voted and were the single reason Obama got in office. They wanted to be a part of that history too. They wanted to see that as well. And there were so many that wanted to see it with Hillary. How many million above him in popularity? So my point is, what you think you're trying to do may backfire on you.
Well, the thing is, because he's using 50 scare tactics with, you'll be glad to hear I'm not allowing any low-income housing to come in your neighborhood to, lower your property value, blah, blah, blah. It is backfiring on him. Now, the truth of the matter is, white women have not supported, the majority of white women have not voted for a Democratic candidate in the last 10 presidential elections or Democratic candidates. They vote for Republicans. But what's happening is Trump has been able to achieve what no other Republican did. He's got college-educated white women and independent white women now trending towards Biden. A lot of people are angry that Biden is the nominee. But Biden's a nominee because black women put him there. And black women put him there because we're pragmatic. This is not time to mess around. That's why he brought in Kamala, because he said, I'm a transitional president. I'm going to be transitional. I'm going to take this spot and turn it over to the next generation. And Kamala, I don't know if you guys follow Michael Moore, but he gave her a resounding endorsement on his website and in his podcast.
You follow Michael Moore. He's the one that did all the videos. He's the one that told us Trump was going to win and how it was going to happen.
The only one.
Yeah. And he was saying it when we couldn't see it at all. He even said what states and what they were doing wrong if they had listened to him.
The problem with that campaign, just for a second, was that Hillary didn't have any junkyard dogs.
No.
Like Obama had David Axelrod and David Fluff. Those are junkyard dogs. And that Ron Emanuel, those are junkyard dogs. What? She just had Ivy League intellectuals.
Yes.
Back off the Ivy League now.
I'm not mad about it. It's just real talk.
You need junkyard dogs.
You need junkyard dogs. Now, my girl, Kareem, who's her chief of staff, she's a junkyard dog. She's the one who jumped in front of Kamala when that guy came at her when she was speaking. She'll knock her out. And she's Haitian and she's gay. So, and she was on Biden's team before Kamala came on. Biden has surrounded himself with black women. The woman, Simone, I can't remember her last name, she's his senior policy advisor.
Right.
The one that worked with Bernie Sanders.
And didn't want to work with him this time. Think about it. we'll have to wait for the book to find out why.
Because she went to Biden. I couldn't understand that either. But Bernie's people got mad saying she was a sellout. But something made her move. Something made her move.
Whispers in Warren's campaign in some of these about intolerance. So I'm sure there's a story behind there, and we've all lived those stories. You know, they love their black brothers, but when you get a sister in there, you know, and she doesn't fit a stereotype or a perception, or stay quiet and just show up for the photo op, you know.
Or exhaust herself trying to be non-threatening. It's exhausting.
It's like wearing the mask.
You know, I'm in the corporate world, and you know, you guys know I'm the only black executive where I am. And sometimes stuff gets said that I can't breathe. And sometimes I confront it, and sometimes I say silly season. But I did. Yeah. But you know, it's just carelessness, you know, that some of the things that we have to go through so that people don't feel threatened by us.
Oh, that's so much. Can you imagine being there or at the time where I was, being black, but being also gay, dressing like I am. So there were too many forms of intimidation that I truly faced in the situation I left.
You scared the hell out of people.
Yeah. And it was sad because I couldn't even voice just common conversation about things, because they didn't even want to come to me till the end of the day if they saw me laugh. Like, okay, now she's not mad. When I never, at that time, but at the times when I wasn't, you know what I mean? It's like, wow. You know, what am I going to do? Knock you out?
Right.
I'm better than that. It's just conversation, you know. But yeah, but she's
difference of opinion.
Yes. And see, the thing is, which brings us to Quan and Kanye West. Now, that's a lot I can say, but I'm going to let a young brother do this. And Denise, one word when I ask you about when I say Kanye West, you and what he and Trump are trying to do, because there's proof now, actual proof that Trump is doing this. I think Kanye, he don't even know they're doing it to him. He's so messed up. Because I haven't seen him show up at one place. I see Trump's attorney, who they're filing a injunction against because you can't represent two candidates. You understand what I'm saying? But the point is, I see her going to those places, turning paperwork in. I have yet to see him do anything. I just haven't seen him speak against anything. I heard his wife spoke out and said that he had some mental issues. So when I say his name, what do you think, Denise? Is that one of those things where you put the laugh up?
Silly season.
Silly season.
Hashtag
silly season. But one thing I will say to people, I think all of you guys will concur, we're going to let Quan take it over, is that when you are casting your vote, here's how I'm going in. Here's how I'm going in. I'm going in with nothing but Biden and Harris. As far as president, the only names I'm looking for that was country first, Mud deal say, but Biden, Harris. So I don't give a damn if you got freaking frat in the back or whoever and whatever, 10 more names in that column for president. My mind and eyes is
2%.
Huh?
He's actually polling at 2%.
Who is that?
Kanye.
So he's actually polling?
2%.
I mean, how much was Stein posing as when Hillary ran? Because she did hurt her.
It wasn't just Stein. It was one. Who was the other person? There was one and a guy.
It was another guy, but with her, she tried to finally fix her wrong, but it was too late. So which tells us Trump did some dirty stuff, probably paid her too.
I want to say something about polling. Normally, you don't even look at this stuff until after Labor Day. Because people generally are doing their lives. But I think because of the pandemic, people may be more focused than usual and focused earlier than usual. And I feel nothing but sadness for Kanye. He's terribly ill and he's being used. And I was talking about my sons. They don't take that same opinion as I do. As far as I'm concerned, as far as they're concerned, they put a big T on his head for traitor, and they say he's crazy, but he didn't have to go against his own. He don't have to go against us when he's crazy. So anyway, it's on you, Quan. What you say about Kanye?
Well, when it comes to what's going on with Mr. West, what's going on with his mental health, what's going on with his health entirely, I just really think right now, especially with what's happening with him and Trump, a lot of people in the hip hop, it's almost as if we're watching #silly season in front of us, play out no matter what way. Even the thought process of this man even having 2% of a voting population is literally, you can see my eyes open up more. Like, that's silly season. Just like today with Tekashi 6ix9ine taking a Kaepernick knee in front of Nipsey Hussle's face on Slauson and Crenshaw, knowing that Tekashi 6ix9ine is the biggest snitch ever, right, and the guy that killed.
Okay.
We lost your audio, Quan.
Quan, I need you to repeat that. We lost your audio.
No.
Quan, you have to say that again because we lost your audio.
Okay. On what part?
Start back with it's okay. Just start back with the guy with 6ix9ine.
Taking the Kaepernick knee.
Okay. Yeah. So pretty much this guy, Tekashi 6ix9ine, took a Kaepernick knee in front of Nipsey Hussle's face on Slauson and Crenshaw, right at the Fat Burger, where there's a mural of him, and literally, wrote an Instagram message saying, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle, I do my rap career because but you one of the biggest snitches ever. You got out of jail, you got out of probation, you got out of all this because of snitching. And the guy that killed Nipsey Hussle was not only a snitch within his gang, but a known snitch across the neighborhood, Eric Holder. Shitty cuz, as they call him. And it's baffling because once again, #silly season, that these people even have the platform. Just even knowing that Kanye West has 2% of the American vote, 2% out of 100%, it's baffling. It's baffling. But at the same time, it's from someone that has suffered through mental health issues, that suffered through anxiety, I haven't suffered through bipolar. That's a whole other thing that Kanye's going through. But just the mental issues and anxiety in itself puts you at a different mindset where you're thinking about things and you're not there. You're not there. You're not aware of who you are. And what makes it sad is the fact that Dave Chappelle, T.I., many people have reached out to him, met with him in person, and he continues to do this. He continues to do this. And just last year alone, this man was just doing a gospel album. He was doing Sunday service. And I got to throw my hands up because just like, what do you do at this point?
Right.
Pray for him. Keep praying for him. Silly season. He really got caught into it. I think Denise has something here and everything. I was telling her we're going to be doing a little show each week that's about 5 minutes. It will not exceed 10. And I think we're going to call it Silly Season. Because
it's silly today.
Yeah, silly season, because we're going to bring out the things and address them without giving it too much airtime. One of the women that MSNBC laid some people off. But one particularly that had been with them for years quit. She said she felt like the media has failed the people because everybody has cashed in on 45. Where a lot of this stuff, had we not given him the airtime that he like now, right, he is literally running his campaign like he's talking about COVID. I would not have one camera there. Let Fox do it for you.
Well, for the record, when Kamala and Biden did their first meeting, not Fox, not MSNBC, not CNN, nobody carried Trump's press conference. Nobody.
What?
They all, even on Fox, they were carrying Kamala and Biden because at the end of the day, they're a business team, and their fawning over Trump is costing them viewership and credibility, and so Fox did what the other stations did. They watch, and then with the newscasters during the night, they show clips. But in terms of making people sit through that silliness, no, they're not. So he's not getting the oxygen he used to get. Because he has nothing to say.
But he's still breathing.
Let me ask you this, Denise and Annika. I want to ask you both a good. That's a great question for the people. Do you two think we will be successful in beating him with the way he's trying to handle this mail? Do you feel that there's a way that we can still that the Harris Biden team can defeat Donald Trump?
My feeling is that, it's interesting because with John Lewis dying recently, which affected me deeply. But with that picture fresh in our minds of what he was willing to face, he was willing to face death for justice. And the spirit that's out here right now among women, because that's who I talk to the most, is we will face death. We will face death to vote this diseased mind out of our country. We will face death. The generals, you may not have heard this, the retired generals, like the top guys from the Pentagon, wrote a letter that they all signed to the current generals in the Pentagon that said, make sure you live up to your oath and remove him if he does not do it on his own steam. That was this week. They're like, get his ass out. Even Trump sees the writing on the wall. He's like a fish gasping for water. So yeah, I believe he'll be defeated because people are willing to do whatever it takes to get rid of him.
And we're facing the worst, don't you think? And we're stronger for it.
Yeah, and a lot of people voted for Trump believing he would change. 1, 2, it wasn't for Trump, it was against Hillary, who had suffered 30 years of being hammered and undermined. So people would say silly things like, well, I don't know, I just don't like her. What? Well, silly season. So there's a lot of people who may not like Biden, but they like Trump less. They don't like what he's done to this country. White folks don't like what he's done to this country. Black folks are like, oh, you surprised? We knew what he was coming down the road. That's why all of us voted for Hillary.
Yeah. And some whites, I realized it with George Floyd. I really did. And Annika can attest, we did a show with this young white 14-year-old was at her parents and saying, no, you're wrong, and breaking things down. But now this is the thing I saw with those parents. Their thought was we wouldn't be having this conversation because even the things that we knew were there were hidden enough where if little Amy brought Jessica over, we know how to say, hi, Jessica. And Jessica lives down the street, so she's a good girl. Oh, you have such a sweet friend. But the reality of where Dad lived, and not far from there was what he said, ghetto, and I see what they really can do and be, which is not true because it's labeled in all of it. But the point is, now we got to answer these questions and face our children, and they believe we are racist when this conversation would never have came out until you came out screaming, "Make America Great Again," and brought out all this stuff. And then everybody started coming in directions we didn't even know were going to happen. And then a pandemic came, and we were all sitting in front of a TV and watched the man had been pressed down, knee in his neck. For how long, as Dave Chappelle said? How long?
8 minutes, 46 seconds.
That's what he said.
Too long. Too long.
Too long. But no, he said he could remember for many reasons. But the point is, they had to see that. Their children had to see it. And America saw it. That's why you still see them, even more than us, marching with Black Lives Matter.
And that's why the press today is doing penance for the horrible, horrible way they managed that last campaign with Trump.
And manage him now.
Trump would boast about how he got billions of dollars of free advertisement with the press. And he did.
He's taking money now. He's not even running a campaign. They gave him money for a campaign. He's tomorrow you'll hear Trump is going to talk about COVID and the stimulus plan. Trump mentions COVID for 1 second. He mentions the stimulus plan. Then he's on Obama. He's on Kamala Harris. He's on this. He's on that. And then how great his hair is, and all of this, and it's just no. I'm serious. It's just crazy stuff. Then it's just for him to be seen because. And yet Biden, then he's talking about some kind of order he wants against Biden. Are you not listening? Because Biden came out today and he didn't order anything. He said every governor in each state should order we wear masks. And he's bringing stuff to the table like we want, like a president. If we
national mask requirement in one of the most historic pandemics of all time.
And what did he say? If we wear this mask for how many months?
3.
If you do 3, you'll save 40,000 lives. So he's giving figures. And then Kamala was smart. She came not strong like, I'm going to be this here, which y'all think I'm going to be. She came saying why what Joe Biden is saying is right. And why Joe Biden is the right candidate. And why this and why that. You follow what I'm saying? So the point is, I love the way it was handled. That was a team. That's the way Joe was with Barack. But it's not to bring the same. It's saying they fit.
You know, I had this epiphany watching Kamala at their event in Delaware.
Coming out.
Well, my epiphany was Joe is known for his heart and his empathy, his genuineness and his decency. But Joe's not known for his intellect. Kamala, to me, is a female Obama.
Say it again, because that's definitely what I thought.
He brought her in for her intellect and her passion. And it's a good balance because he said, I want her to be the last one who leaves the room. I want her to call me on my stuff. I want her to argue with me if she has a different point of view. And I saw it yesterday. I'm like, that's a female Obama. And then I was watching Lawrence O'Donnell, and he talked about how years ago when Kamala was San Francisco DA, he had gotten wind of her and checked her out. And then the next time she was talking, he took his daughter to see her. And then he ran into Kamala years ago in a restaurant and said to her, you need to run for president.
That's right.
So it's okay. It's okay. She's got the.
It's going to be okay. Dion, it's going.
But Denise, do you feel? I was going to say to everyone, does everyone? Well, okay, outside of you three great queens, do you feel that a lot of, not necessarily just black men, but do you feel like a lot of black people are not educated enough on the real Kamala Harris and just know of the negative buzz, per se, about her more than they know?
What 14% said they never heard of her? 10% were undecided. I just happened to see that stat. So Kamala has to introduce herself to the country. She has that obligation. And that's why every time she talks about where she came from, how she grew up. We know Biden. That's what James Clyburn said. We know Joe.
Yeah, everybody knows Joe.
There's nothing new to know about him.
No.
So she has the job of introducing herself to the country. And she's got more than 300,000 of the Divine Nine sorority sisters
Yeah.
all over this country who are going to make sure. But please understand, Kamala aside, people are voting for the top of the ticket at the end of the day. What she did, as Dion said, was give us hope, give us excitement. What she did for me was take away my pain and my fear of what kind of election I was going to have to face. So I don't, and then there's going to be a portion, Quan, of the people who vote for them just because they don't want him in there another day. Whatever motivates them, I'll take it.
Me too. But I think this, and I need Annika to let us know what she thinks about whether she's going to win and what Quan said about knowing about her. But here's the thing: Denise said the right thing in the start when she said she still works with dancers, and they were saying they didn't. And this is what I used to do, Denise. You know this. This is what I used to tell the people that I work with. I had to go before some of the fundraisers. And a lot of them, I would say, don't just trust what I say, go research it. People can tell you anything. Yeah, my job is to motivate you and to educate you about, Sierra Club or about Hillary or about, but your job too. Even just as a person that needs to be registered to vote. So if you're not registered, get registered. Vote. Think about it like this. It's toilet tissue, and it's going to be gone soon.
You can go to ivote.com and register to vote.
Yes. And I've always, on IJS Nation page, I've already put up every state, when your deadline is, how early you can vote. I've given you that information from every single state, in alphabetical order. IJS Nation. Go on if you're a part of my nation group, it's there. Main thing, though, is as she said, I'll say, and I know Annika will concur. People can tell you anything. And if you are going on any social media or going anywhere talking anything and you haven't studied anything about it, read anything about it, heaven help you. Because you may be giving false information. Know that you know, and then you'll know.
And shame on you for being uninformed and expressing an opinion.
Without knowing. What if somebody did that with you? We've all experienced that. Think about that. Put yourself.
That's what systematic racism is, isn't it?
That's
exactly what it is.
So you're no different.
I just want to share that I think that, when you are looking at a community, and we're going to look at the United States for a moment as one big, large community, because we're still the United States of America. And I really do believe that the Biden-Harris ticket will be successful, and I will tell you why. COVID-19 and the economy. When the economy is doing great, like it was right before COVID-19 was unleashed, I said we are going to be in a hell of a fight. But since COVID-19 has impacted, collided with, crushed, smashed our economy, separated us from have-nots, things that we have taken for granted and learned to rely on, like public schools and free education, Department of Motor Vehicles, you name it. It has been smashed. Parents can't go to work. Daycares are closed. You can't go to work. People are dying. The hospital is full. Unemployment check can't be mailed to you because there's no mail service. Unemployment people won't answer the phone because they're too busy. sometimes the way to get to the right place is to go in the wrong direction. And I do believe in 2016, there was a mistake because I was with Hillary. I was her. I am still with her. Okay. And I will be with Biden Harris in 2020. But along with us now is a lot of people who were still caught up in the emails that they never saw, that they never read, that they never found. Silly stuff, stuff that was nonsense. What we are comparing is a Kamala Harris to Vice President Pence. No, I want to see her debate Trump. Now that would be a boxing match. I said, do a double team tag down and let Kamala just rip Trump. In a way, you talk about, what do you call it, junkyard dog? Now, Kamala Harris is not unintelligent in any way, shape, or form, but she can handle a junkyard dog like Trump, I think even more articulately and better than Hillary. And I think that's what one of her downfalls.
Oh, Kamala would have turned around and said, "Get off me." When
That's
Trump
right. Don't touch that. This
she was
stuff
like,
belongs to you.
It would have been all over but the shouting. And that's what has Trump in brain lock, because he ain't been able to talk about Joe. Every punch he's thrown ain't landed, and he can't
already know his bullshit.
He can't come up with a way to hit Kamala. And I think, because don't get it twisted, Joe got some swag about him. Trump ain't got no swag. So
Denise, all the black women, all the black women here, and I hope other brothers are watching this. If Donald Trump says any negative word about Kamala Harris, you know the number one black rule will come out. And you know what the number one black rule is?
No, what?
Don't you dare talk about my mama.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Don't you dare.
That's right.
Because if he talks anything, either Pence or Trump, you're going to see a backlash.
We hope.
Like no other.
I pray and hope, because like I said, when I see so many brothers talking themselves about her, giving him room and giving him, they don't realize that nut sometimes he's pro and not, but then again, it could be, as Denise said, I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, that it could be Russia. You know what I mean? It could be.
I clicked on this guy's Facebook page. It was his name, Larry Jackson. It don't get no blacker than that. Mm-hmm. I clicked on his page, and it was like empty. There was, how when someone requests friend and you go on their page, you see what they're about. It was empty. Right. So I just blocked him. I'm like, oh, you one of those.
Yeah.
A bot.
Because I'm very active politically online. Yeah. So I would be a good person to try to draw into some foolishness. But like Barack said, you got to know we're in silly season. Hashtag silly season.
Hashtag silly season. And guys, that's the way we're going to end this. Keep in mind, and I'll keep that in mind. And also, I still will keep it in the corner of my mind by giving brothers the benefit of the doubt. I'll keep in the corner of my mind that just giving them the benefit of the doubt that Russia could have some people out doing things using
there's no question about it. We have to remember the lessons learned. There were millions of Facebook postings about Hillary generated by Russia on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on all the social medias. We have to get smart, learn the lesson, share the lesson, and call hashtag silly season.
Yeah, call it what it is.
Hashtag silly season. I'm not doing. I tell somebody I'm not doing this with you. We're not even, because I said to have this conversation, we should be on the phone, and I don't know you that well. So as of this moment, you're going to be blocked. And then I blocked them. I'm like, get out of here. I don't want to do this with you. You know, just drawing people in emotionally, exhausting them. Don't let them play that on you. Hashtag silly season.
I'm with you. So what we're going to do then, guys, is we're going to definitely end here. It's a perfect way to end. Silly season. Silly season. So don't even waste your energy with them. What you can waste your energy on is learning as much as you can if you don't already know who the young amazing woman is that's about to make history, Kamala Harris. Learn about it, read about it, investigate, do whatever you want. They bet it or you can bet it. You know, find out before you speak. And how dare you speak if you don't take the time to find out. Each one of my guests, I want to thank Denise. I want to always thank my co-host, Annika, Valley Cole, Big Homie Quan. It's been wonderful, you guys. Tell the people that you love them and tell them to keep their eyes on the prize.
Thank you.
I'm just saying. Okay, we thank you guys. And again, they will be back. They will be back. Look at Miss Harris. You're going to see quite a bit of her. I don't care if I got a rule and pull her out. You're going to see quite a bit of us.
Love you.
Yes, through this season. Through this season. We're going to get you through it. And we're going to remind you about how silly it is. And in the end, we're going to be there to celebrate with you.
That's right.
All right. I'm just saying, have a great night, everybody.
Hey, it's Kamala Harris, and this is my Mood Mix. A song that has always made me dance. Check the rhyme, A Tribe Called Quest. You know I'm talking about Fife. A song from my favorite movie, Purple Rain by Prince, and Shallow by Lady Gaga. Okay, so it's supposed to be my favorite song at a cookout, but you don't play just one song at a cookout. You play a lot of songs at a cookout, and I highly recommend Lemonade by Beyonce. A song that lifts my spirits always, Oh Happy Day by the Edwin Hawkins Choir. A song that has to be played loud because you have to hear the bass. The Sun is Shining by Bob Marley and the Wailers. Right? The sun is shining and a song that reminds me of Howard University, my alma mater, the Mecca, the real HU. Push It by Salt and Pepper. Because it was a real hit song when I was there. Favorite song from my childhood, Young, Gifted, and Black by Aretha Franklin. A song that makes me think of my birthplace, Oakland. Anything by Too Short. Too Short! A song by one of my favorite rappers from California would be Humble by Kendrick Lamar. I work out in the morning, every morning, and folks wanted to know a song I listen to while working out. I don't. I watch Morning Joe. A presidential song for anyone. One Nation Under a Groove by Funkadelic. One nation under a groove, getting down just for the funk of it. Can I get it on the... Wow! I hope you guys enjoyed my mood mix. More to come.
Everywhere I'm turning, nothing seems complete. I stand up and I'm searching for the better part of me. I hang my head from sorrow, state of humanity. I wear it on my shoulders. I gotta find the strength in me, 'cause I am superwoman. Yes, I am. Yes, she is. We're all